Alright guys, in this video, we're going to go through the carburetor on this Homelite trimmer here. I'm going to show you the rebuild process, including replacing the fuel lines and the purge bulb, and I'll be showing you the differences in the pumping diaphragm. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so just before we get started, popping up on your screen right now are the tools and materials you'll need to do this repair. Here, I'll, come on! Okay, get them out of here. Right, so let's get started. Hey guys, before we get into the video, if this is the type of content you like, give it a thumbs up and also consider hitting the subscribe button below. Anyway, let's get on with the repair. There, now to deal with these fuel lines. Right, so let's get the rest of this carburetor off. Throttle cable, and yeah, this fuel line doesn't look all that good. Let's flush this carburetor out first. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing off. There we go. Fuel line's off. Now I'm going to get rid of the trimmer and we'll get working on the carburetor. Alright, so let's get this carburetor apart. We'll start with the top where the primer bulb is. There we go, we got the pumping diaphragm. Those flaps, they look really good. This is the biggest issue with these. Those two flaps, if they're not flat with the rest of the diaphragm like they are now, then this diaphragm would be garbage. But because they're still flat, it's a good diaphragm. This gasket we're going to attempt to remove very carefully. We don't want to break it. If it doesn't want to come off, you can leave it on. It won't hurt it. Right, so this isn't going to come off very easily, and there's a good chance I'll break it. And because it's actually still in really good condition, it's just a little bit compressed and sticking, I wouldn't want to change it. I wouldn't want to pull it off. It seems to be really good. We'll see about the bottom and see how that is. Now this gasket, I think I'm going to leave that gasket in place as well. Trying to remove it has a high chance of damaging it. However, if I put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, there's a really good chance that it'll cause it to swell and come off very easily. So let's get the bottom open. Now, depending on the condition of this gasket, it'll say whether we replace the diaphragm or not. If the diaphragm's all hard and crispy or all wrinkled, you'd want to replace it. If it's very soft and supple, then I would just take it off and give the carburetor a cleaning. That's what we're going to do. We're going to check it. Honestly, it's not bad at all. So I'll give it a bit of a cleaning. It seems to be in really good condition. Now as for the gasket, I have many of these. These are very common inside of pretty much any kit you get. It's the gasket for this side that is usually kit specific. So I'm going to leave this one in place. Maybe during the cleaning, it'll soften it up and I'll be able to remove it without damaging it, because that would mean that then I also have to prepare the surface as well, because it will be stuck to the surface. So let's get the pin, needle, and plunger out. And for that, there's a little Phillips screwdriver. Now be careful, because under here, there is a spring. As I was saying about the spring, here it is. And as you can see, it is very small. I have lost one of these. If you check this video up here, you'll see the video where this one and we got really acquainted well. And I was warning about it and warning what'll happen, and it happened. Now we've got the jets. So we've got this side here, which would be towards the engine, This is the low side, and this is the high side. We're going to screw them in and count the amount of turns that it takes to screw them in. When we replace them, we'll know exactly what level to set them at. So let's start with the low side first. And for this, it looks like it is a single D. Half, 1, half, and maybe about an eighth. So 1 5/8. Right, so let's take it out and we'll record that in our mind. And I've also got it on video, 1 5/8. And if I was wrong, I'll correct it during editing and you'll see it pop up. Half, 1, half, 2. And it looks like that's it. So the high side is 2 turns out. So as you can see, both needles, they're the exact same size. You won't have to worry about which side you put them in. Now in here, there are little O-rings. So if you look deep in here, you will see a little black O-ring. So be aware, if you do spray this with carb cleaner, you'll want to take those out first. Otherwise, you can damage them. Or if you're using brake clean, stuff like that, it can damage the rubber O-ring. So I'm going to pop this into the ultrasonic, and as soon as it's all clean, we'll have it back out and we'll get it assembled. Right, so the carburetor, it's all cleaned up. Parts look like they came out really good. Now the diaphragm gaskets. The biggest difference, not so much the shape, but that little nose. As you can see, one of them is very short and one of them is long. This diaphragm is from Zama. This one here with the long nose, Walbro. So the kit you would need for this is a K20 WAT. Now my gasket, or should I say, my diaphragm's still good. It is quite supple, just like a brand new one. So I'm just going to reuse this one and I'll put the new ones away. So we'll get the metering side first done. There, we'll add a little bit of 2-stroke oil. This part isn't necessary to add the 2-stroke, but I like doing it because it likes to hold the spring in place. So the gasket's already on. I didn't see the point to removing it. It's actually still in good condition. There's no rips, tears, anything like that. Now I'll get the metering diaphragm on. And the bottom. And that'll be the 4 short screws. There, the bottom's assembled. Now for the top. So on this one, you want to make sure that it lines up over the valves. And since this one is nice and see-through, so if you look here and here, you can see the 2 holes. And the pumping diaphragm is actually covering those and acts as valves. So that's why you want to make sure that those are flat and in line with the rest of this diaphragm. Otherwise, it's complete garbage. And because this is a flat surface, you know that this side gets the diaphragm, and this side, which is rough, gets the gasket. So I'm going to back this screw out to make it easier to put it on because the throttle's there. Now the primer bulb, we don't need that one. So this one, that's the return line. This is the fuel line. So when you're purging, that's what this does. It's actually pushing fuel down here and pulling fuel up here into the carburetor. Now last but not least, the high and low speed jets. There, just to hopefully make it a bit easier for them to go in. So what was it again? 1 5/8 on the low and 2.5 on the high, I think. So we'll go out 1 5/8 on the low, half, 1, half, and an eighth. And this was 2.5. 1. Oh, sorry. 1 and a, oops, and a half, 2, 2.5. There we go. So that carburetor is all set. Now we can get it back on the engine. Okay, so let's get this carburetor back on. First, let's check these fuel lines. Honestly, they don't seem so bad. I'm not going to replace the fuel lines, but I am going to replace the filter. Now we'll get the fuel lines on. So this one, we know is the fuel line because that's the fuel filter. So that goes on the bottom one. We have the return line. That goes on the top one. Let's get the air filter on. That seems about right. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one here. Okay, let me take the carburetor off and fix this. I'll be right back. There. Much better. Full complete range of motion now. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed when I was doing the jets, I kind of did them backwards. I did the high speed jet, although it's actually the low, at 2.5, and the low speed I got correct at 1 5/8. However, it was the high speed I did, and that was 2.5 out. So we're going to reset them back to 0, and we're going to reset them. We're going to unscrew them to the right amount, starting with the low speed, and that was out 1 5/8. Half, 1, half, and 5/8. Now the high speed comes out 2. Half, 1, half, 2. There. That's set properly. Here we got a nice new filter. I'll get that all nice and oiled up. I'll squeeze out the excess. Very important to oil your foam filters. It makes them sticky, so fine particles get stuck inside your filter, as opposed to going straight through and into your engine. Cover on. And there we go. All right, guys. Now you know how to go through a carburetor on this Homelite trimmer, and you can also use this exact same technique on many other type of two-stroke engines with small carburetors like this one. Anyway, guys, see you in the next one. Hey guys, thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Very much appreciate you watching all the way through. If you haven't already, give it a thumbs up. That does help the channel a lot, pushes this video out to more people. Also, if this isn't your first time here and you haven't already, maybe this video is the one where I've actually earned your subscription, and I would very much appreciate it if you would subscribe below. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it again, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.